Well, good evening, Chad. Hopefully, you're still among the living, or at least somebody in your house has turned your computer on, so it makes it look like people are actually watching the stream. I don't care if you're there dead and decomposing. A view is a view. Oh, what a time to be alive. Now, if you watched the last stream, we talked a little bit about the woo flu and how it's spreading across the globe right now. And it's got even worse since then. Lots of happenings left and right. Oh my God, what a way to start the year off. Here we thought 2020 was going to be boring shit. Maybe you get an impeachment trial. That's about it, really. I don't. What were you looking forward to? Maybe like a video game sometime in March. Slim pickings, really, for your entertainment purposes. But you've got front row seats to a pandemic. I know I shouldn't use that word. I've heard all the talk on Twitter. I've seen all the experts giving their well thought out ideas. I'd like to share what I think encapsulates one of the biggest things I've been hearing lately when it comes to the awoo flu from Eugene. I think sums it up best here. In a month and a half time since the Wuhan coronavirus emerged as a new disease, it's killed 41 people so far. During that same time period, the common flu has killed almost 80,000 people. We need to take all new diseases seriously and be vigilant while keeping everything in perspective, too. Oh, I've been hearing a lot of that shit. But Jim, there's the flu kills people. There's a fucking flu out there, Jim. Who cares about Chinese chickenpox? The flu, Jim. Well, Eugene, I don't know. When I think about it, let me ask you this question, Chad, to all the Eugenes out there. Well, let's talk about the flu, the big bad influenza. When we're talking about the flu, how many stories have you heard this year of entire cities being quarantined? Just name one in regards to the flu. How many millions of people have been told to stay in their homes? How many cities have had all transportation in and out of them completely cut off? How many Disneylands have closed down because of the flu? How many people are you seeing getting taken at gunpoint into ambulances in the streets because of the flu? How many videos out there are you watching of doctors breaking down in hospitals to their fucking knees and sobbing because of the flu? I don't know, Eugene. I'd say maybe there's a little bit more going on than just the fucking flu. And maybe, the response we're seeing from China might indicate that there's some shit going on. But the flu kills people. Well, yeah, the flu isn't quarantining 50 million fucking people and 15 cities. It doesn't have the president of a nation saying, uh-oh, shit's coming down the pipeline. That's right, Winnie the Pooh himself is saying that it's getting extra aggressive and they're worried. All these things on this checklist that I have of quarantines, military partitions, cut off of transportation, end of celebrations, cancellation of transportation in and out of areas. I don't remember reading any of that about the flu. So if the flu was so scary, so much scarier than what's going on in China, why isn't that happening, Eugene? I mean, what you're telling me is it's thousands of times more dangerous. So shouldn't every fucking city in the world be quarantined? Or maybe there's some shit going down. And maybe, just maybe, China is scared shitless because they're more aware of what's happening because they let a fucking biological weapon get loose. I don't know, Chad, am I alone on that? Am I surrounded by Eugenes? Or is Eugene just pants on head fucking retarded? Oh, no, I get it. Yeah, the flu kills people, Eugene. We're all well aware that the influenza, oh my God, it's scary shit. But just show me a reaction that we've seen in the last week to the fucking flu. You absolute water-brained retard. It's like those old commercials. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on television. Well, Eugene LARPs is one on Twitter, apparently. Real difficult to compare two completely different situations and see the extreme measures being taken in one and think, well, fuck. Maybe there's a little bit more to it. But not good old Eugene. He wants to just screech at Donald Trump and tell us all about how dangerous influenza is. Now, I'm sure you've probably seen some articles. There's a little bit of a push, I'd say, going on right now in the media to downplay this. I've seen multiple articles, really, from multiple news sources, all saying it's not a big deal. Relax. It's lullaby time. Just go to bed. Close your pretty little eyes. There's nothing to worry about. Which seems in stark contrast to the fucking reality we're surrounded by. Now, I'm sure we're not going to see articles like this popping up. I mean, they're not going to just point blank say something like that. All right, it's understandable. We all know how the mainstream media works. They need to get their shit organized and come out with a narrative before they give us those hot breaking stories that we're all looking for. We're more than likely to get something like this. Just overlook it. Not important. Not important, I'm sure. I'm sure they can handle it. Now, I wanted to do a little compare and contrast to the last stream I did because more information has come out. I think you're going to find it real fucking fascinating. Last stream we talked about the biolab. This was the first in China. They were going to have a multitude of them, all built by 2025. The very first one was going to be built in where? Wuhan. Where's the disease breaking out? Oh, what do you know? Wuhan. Now, when I read up on this and looked into it more, it said it was at the Academy of Sciences. So I came out with I want to make sure I grab the right map. I came out with a map going from the Chinese Academy of Science to the supposed wet market that this all transpired at. And the distance I got was, what is that? About 8 miles, 9 miles from their biohazard lab, the fucking umbrella corporation, and the place they go to eat bat soup. All right, that's spooky enough. But then another article came out, and it showed this. Oh, no, Jim. We're not just talking about the biohazard level 4 facility that's located at the university. We're also happen to be talking about another deadly pathogen lab called the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which is also 20 miles away from the fucking seafood market. So it's one of two things is happening here. Either through the biggest coinkydink in human history, two pathogen labs that are both studying the same fucking disease are located within a 20-mile radius of the outbreak of said disease. I don't know, chat. That strikes me as kind of fucking weird. How could you have the biohazard level 4 place at the academy and then just, 12 miles from it have the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and located near both of them is a Henan seafood market, which is what they kept repeating over and over again. It's a fucking seafood market. It's a seafood market. That's where this disease is coming from. People are eating bats. Well, I'd just like to say, first off, if it's a seafood market, what the fuck are bats doing there? I didn't know bats were aquatic animals. Why would there be bats at the seafood market? I know. You go to one of these open-air markets in China and you can eat anything. Oh, you want to deep fry a centipede and have a badger's ass? Come on down to the Henan seafood market. You can sit down right next to the two scientists from the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the Biohazard Level 4 facility at the university. Oh, don't mind those leaking packages they have sitting next to them. It won't taint the flavor of the meat. But these labs, all these labs all over the place. Well, what are they researching? I don't know. How about shit they stole from Canada? Because only a Canadian would invite spies into their fucking pathogen lab and then allow them to steal that and send it overseas. This article from middle of last year is talking about how a Chinese researcher was escorted from the infectious disease lab and put under an investigation. Not just her, but her husband too. And all the Chinese researchers that went with them to this particular fucking place. Let me read a little bit about this. I think you'll find it really interesting what her husband, who also is a doctor, happened to be researching. If you look at the very bottom of paragraph 4, Mr. Chang's research included HIV. Of course, we've got that. We've got Ebola. We've got mad cow disease. But the second one there, why does that seem so fucking familiar? Severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS. Oh, a coronavirus. So, two Chinese researchers who were stealing research information about the coronavirus, and they sent it back to the fucking institute in Wuhan 6 months before a super plague erupted in Wuhan. Boy, that makes me think. Boy, it's got the noggin jogging a little bit. Is it possible two stupid Chinese motherfuckers stole some diseases from the Canadians, transported it back over to China, tinkered with it a little bit, and then it accidentally got loose? Is that what might have happened? I've never heard of an entire team of foreign nationals being escorted out and arrested and investigated by the police for this shit. Who should we blame for this one, chat? Should we shit on the Chinese for it, or should we shit on the fucking Canadians for it? Or how about both? That's... What a way to go. That's the way the world ends. These two knuckle fuckers getting together. Oh, what's Trudeau doing today? Oh, he's taking a vacation day. Oh, by the way, Sunnybrook Hospital, confirmed case of coronavirus. So while Trudeau is out there picking his ass, and I don't know what the hell he does, dressing up in blackface, the disease is now in Canada. Canada, the place it might have actually originated from, where it was stolen and transported to China. It's like the circle of life. Somebody starts singing Hakuna Matata. Let's go Lion King up in here, because it's come full fucking circle. This reminds me of the Fort McMurray fires, where half the country's burning and Justin Trudeau is doing photo ops or something for feminism. This fucking plague is spreading, and then he's out there surfboarding or something. I don't know what the fuck this guy does. Oh, but it gets better. Now, if you remember from the last stream, I made this little map. See, it's so fancy. You see that red dot? Took me an hour and a half in Photoshop. No shit. Now at the center of that dot, it's Wuhan. And I came up with this particular radius. It's 200 miles to the outer edge because 200 miles was the farthest city that had been quarantined at the time. The last stream I did, 3 cities were quarantined. At the end of the stream, 5 cities were quarantined. Now, I want you to compare this because Jim is always right, chat. I want you to compare this to the new list of, is it 10 or 15 cities that are quarantined? Let's take a look. Well, that's look at the radius. Now here's Shanghai and here's Taiwan and here's Hong Kong. Let's go take a look at my map again. Here's Shanghai, here's Taiwan, here's Hong Kong. Boy, that looks awfully fucking similar, doesn't it? How all those cities are in that fucking giant circle. Kind of like when I said on the last stream that if you're going to quarantine a city in the center and a city at the edge, you're probably going to have to quarantine every other fucking city in between. And what do you know? Now we've got all these cities that have partial quarantines, full quarantines. And when I'm talking about quarantines, let's take a look at what that means. Let's see what it looked like in the beginning. In the beginning, it was all fucking sunshine and roses. Pretty little soldiers with their cute little masks all standing there. Oh, look at them. Oh, aren't they handsome? Oh, you can't come into the railway station. Handsome boys are blocking you. Oh, did you want to get in your car? Let me put this little thermometer to your forehead. I'm sorry you can't go no farther. Well, handsome boys, they got fucking guns now. They're kitted out in full hazmat suits with fucking guns. They're not using thermometers anymore. But even if you got past all these handsome boys and tried to make a run for it, guess what? You're not fucking going anywhere. They're building stone and dirt walls at every road and fucking tunnel out of Wuhan. Where do you think you're going, bitch? Nowhere. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, again, just take a look at this. Roads being blocked off with stones and bricks. Checkpoints being set up at fucking roadways and subway stations. Men with guns and full hazmat suits. And then go back and look at what dumb fuck Eugene had to say about the flu. It's only 41 people, guys. You know how every year when the flu comes around, the U.S. government sends out men in military hazmat suits with assault rifles and puts bulldozers to block off bridges and underpasses? You know, a regular occurrence during the flu. Eugene, you're a fucking idiot. I don't know, this screams to me that maybe they're scared. Maybe they think something terrible's happening. And let's put away this bullshit that it's animal to human, okay? If it was animal to human, you wouldn't have to block off this much shit. Are you trying to tell me that hundreds of thousands of people went to the seafood market to eat some bat soup? I find that I'm a little incredulous about that. But don't worry. I mean, they've got it under control. They brought out their fucking Tonka trucks. Oh, we're going to build a hospital with 1,000 beds. Wait a minute, I only thought 800 people were sick. Why would you suddenly need to build a new fucking emergency hospital with 1,000 beds for a disease that's not affecting anybody and it's only killed 40 people? What would compel you to have to do this much construction work and then on top of your first 1,000 bed emergency hospital to build a second one with 1,300 beds? They're saying they're going to complete these prefab hospital emergency treatment centers in the span of 10 to 14 days. So they're going to create 2 hospitals with upwards of 2,400 beds in 2 weeks. Now, why would you need to do construction on that scale if it was just the flu? Hey, Eugene, smarty boy, Mr. Blue Checkmark. I don't remember ever reading a fucking story in the US or Europe about the flu popping up and then, France saying, let's build 2 emergency hospitals in 14 days. Anybody else? Chat, am I alone on that? Or maybe is Eugene a fucking moron? I'm just having trouble wrapping my little head around these things. Oh, a mass grave? Do you think that's why there's lye and stones and plastic bags in the trenches they're digging? Hey, I have a feeling those emergency hospitals, they're really going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, concentration camps. You're going to have to concentrate really hard on not dying, or you're going to be staying in that camp forever. Yeah, a lot of things don't add up, do they, Chad? Just some shit that just doesn't make sense, does it? You know, like this guy. I'll be honest, as an epidemiologist, I'm really worried about the new coronavirus outbreak. The virus has an upward infection trajectory curve steeper than SARS, and it can be transmitted person to person. This is the important part, chat, and this should scare the shit out of you. Before symptoms appear, i.e. it is silently contagious. Silently contagious. Yeah, I made a joke yesterday about a Chinese tourist that faked her way into France by trying to hide her symptoms. She didn't even need to do that. It's literal typhoid Marys. The Chinese are unleashing typhoid Marys upon the world of people that aren't presenting fevers or coughs and yet are infectious. They don't even know the exact day that you become infectious. Is it 1 day after having it? Is it 3 days after having it? Do you have to have pneumonia? Apparently not. Do you have to have a fever? Apparently not. And these tourists are just milling about So if you're going to try to sit there and tell me that a disease that's technically only infected 1,300 people and killed 41 requires the quarantining of 50 million fucking people, the shutting down of 15 cities, the ending of what is perhaps the biggest holiday in China, the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year, the shutting down of businesses like Disney World, McDonald's, multiple restaurants, multiple stores, the cutting off of transportation in and out of all these areas. For 1,300 sick people, that's it? Do you know the economic toll that's going to take just in China? When you fuck up the daily lives of 50 million people, 50 million people that you're fucking up their job schedule, their shopping schedule, their vacation schedule, their holiday schedule. Can we even begin to calculate the economic loss from that kind of move? So you're trying to tell me, Eugene, that the Chinese government is going to eat billions of dollars worth of lost revenue and dead business because 1,300 people got the sniffles? Because, it's not as bad as the flu, right, Eugene? Or perhaps could it be that these fucking morons have accidentally released a bioweapon from one of their own laboratories and they know how fucking scary it is and they are desperately trying to contain it? Maybe I'm just going off, but it might explain why the US is evacuating. The State Department has ordered all American workers at the U.S. consulate in Wuhan. I keep mixing up Wuhan and Mulan. It's like the Chinese Princess of Death. I've combined a Disney movie with death. The State Department has ordered all American workers at the U.S. consulate in Wuhan to evacuate. But it's not just the Americans. Oh, by the way, they're going to fly them back here. Enjoy that. Remember what that virologist just said, that you can get the disease from people who aren't showing symptoms. So what does fucking Donald Trump decide? Hey, let's take all the fucking people that are in the center of this shitstorm and fly them back to the United States. That's brilliant. Good job. How could that go wrong? But it's not just what's going on in Wuhan at the consulate. Now, why is it that only certain countries are pulling their head out of their ass to be a little more preventative about this? North Korea shutting down tourism, the Philippines considering it, and as well as asking exchange students to fuck off, and now local communities in the U.S. saying, pack your shit and go away. The U.S. pulling people out of their consulate again. But remember what Eugene said. Hey guys, it's just the flu. Like how every year when the flu happens, the U.S. evacuates fucking foreign countries. Is it any wonder the Chinese are afraid? Their government's lying to them? We're going to look at videos. I've got a fuck ton of videos showing you what it's like in these hospitals, these doctors, these people talking. They're scared fucking shitless. And every single one of them, every video I've watched either involves dead people in the hallway, people falling over in the streets, or doctors literally breaking down and falling to their knees sobbing. It's got so bad in certain hospitals that doctors refuse to take off their hazmat suits because they don't even want to come out of the fucking suit for a minute. They're living in their hazmat suits. Doctors that are treating patients are dying. I find it hard to look at the things that we're reading about and to see the spread of this thing taking place and not to come to the conclusion based on the fear of the Chinese government alone. I don't trust their numbers. All right, first off, I'm going to state outright, I do not believe the numbers that they're giving. But based on the actions that they are taking, I find it difficult to believe that this is not a big deal. I find it difficult to believe that they're not truly scared and they're not hiding something, some key piece of information that's making them react on this scale. When is the last time you heard of 15 cities being shut down? When is the last time you heard about 50 million people being quarantined? The last time you saw armored vehicles and men with guns on the streets because of a flu? This is the kind of shit that comes out of a Hollywood movie. This is the sort of shit that you pay $10 a ticket for, sit your ass in a seat and eat some popcorn while watching. Except it's real and it's happening and it's in China. And while it's going on, you have people trying to hand wave it away by saying, well, the flu's more dangerous. Or, well, only 41 people have died. I mean, just the amount of coincidences that are all taking place, right? 2 biohazard facilities located next to the point of origin of a new disease. Let's take a look at what's going on in China. We're going to go to my good friend's Twitter account. We're going to start taking a look at some videos, some choice videos. Here's a lovely scene. Again, remember, I'm sure if you've ever had the flu, this has happened to you. An ambulance comes to take you to the hospital, and when you try to get out of the ambulance, security guards choke you out and throw your ass back in the ambulance. Oh, I'm sorry, Chang. Okay, you've got the flu, so we're going to have to choke you out and throw your ass back in that fucking ambulance. It's a typical everyday occurrence. Just ask Eugene. This is normal when you have the flu. The security guards choke your shit and throw you in the back of the fucking... That's brilliant. That's good stuff. This Eugene guy's a smart cookie. I think he knows what he's talking about. Fucking retard, I'm telling you. I'm not letting that one go. Oh, here's another one. Would you like to watch one of the 8 bajillion videos of fucking Asians just in tears because they work at a healthcare facility and they're completely overwhelmed and they've been telling people nonstop that the Chinese government is lying to everyone? Let's watch a few of those.
我们生人，不要说我们逃命，我们在脸上就是等死了，我们就是等死了。我们没被传染，累都要累死了，天天上班，一天休息都没有，天天都在上班。
Now I know, that's moon runes, but here we go. A third video of a Wuhan nurse mentally breaking down due to the pressure of fighting the deadly coronavirus nonstop after a citywide quarantine, saying that if they rest, they're treated as traitors, and that they work nonstop every day, and she ends it by saying, only death is waiting for me here. I don't remember ever going to the hospital with the sniffles and having a nurse break down in tears and start saying that only death awaits her for treating me. Here's another one. Again, remember China saying, what, only 1,300 people infected? That's weird because this doctor is saying the complete opposite. Now, I know we don't speak moon runes. Doctor was filmed saying the media is not reporting true numbers, and this isn't even in Wuhan, it's in Hengyang, which is near Wuhan, repeating that 3 entire hospitals are completely filled with patients presenting with fever. 3 entire hospitals in the entire city are presenting with patients. They don't have room anymore. They've run out of fucking room, and he's getting on the phone asking for help, which is not surprising. Oh, let's take a look at some lovely symptoms. Would you like to see what it looks like when you get the sniffles in Wuhan? Remember, again, guys, Eugene told us not to worry. Nothing to worry about here. Here's your future, everybody. Just the sniffles, just a typical day in a hospital hallway, having a fucking seizure. What is it, a febrile seizure? What do they call it when you get so fucking hot? That your brain melts and you fucking freak out? Is it like 110, 112 degree temperature and your brain turns to fucking liquid and you start spazzing the fuck out? It's hard to keep track. I'm not a doctor. Not like Eugene is. Eugene, of course, the best of the doctors that are around. Jesus. Oh, there's so many. We're just gonna go through these videos. I just want you to get an idea of what's going on. Oh, here's another video. Apparently, the Chinese are blocking people from sharing on social media, so they're having to use VPNs or other means to get videos out internationally. Let's take a look at another video from a hospital. Now, I'd like to ask you, chat. I'd like to ask the people watching this right now. If the Chinese government is reporting that only there are roughly 1,380 cases, that's, 1,400 number includes people from around the world. So we'll just even it, 1,400 cases. If there are only 1,400 cases, why are there so many videos of people in stretchers? Why are hospital hallways crowded? Why are doctors getting on the phone and saying that 3 entire hospitals are full? Because it sure seems like a hell of a lot more people are sick than what are actually being told that are sick. But it gets even worse than that. I haven't shown you the good videos yet. Here's one. There's nothing to worry about, guys. Nothing bad. Oh, except for the armored vehicles rolling down the street. Let's take a look at that one. It goes well with the guys with the guns. Typical scenes of people dealing with the flu. Like they do every day. Nothing strange about it. Here's a video of somebody claiming that this is the reception area of one of the major hospitals in Wuhan, and that the line stretched outside of the building where people are just passing out in the street, and it took, I think they said, 8 to 10 hours to even be seen.
这是在汉口医院，人山人海的病人，很多都是发高烧的，就在这个门诊部的中间，有那么30。
Shit, it's almost like. Call me crazy. It's almost like the situation's much worse than they're letting on. There's some bad shit going on that maybe they're not letting us in on. Oh, I need to find a particular video. Oh shit, I hope these fuckers are pulling this shit down so fast. Sometimes it's hard to even keep it up. Let me see if I can find it. It's one very important video of a nurse discussing the actual numbers. And I don't know if she misspoke or not. There are people that try to translate it, and either way of whatever she's saying, it's fucking bad. If she meant dead or infected. Just look at the, I want you to listen to the number this fucking nurse tells people. All right? Here's the number.
雄狮家族的各位亲友们，各位长辈们，我是金慧，我目前还在武汉汉口这个疫区。我向大家汇报一下，目前我们整个湖北。
I'm sorry. Did that say 90,000 fucking people infected? Not 90,000 people. I'm here to tell you the truth about what's going on in Wuhan. There are 90,000 people infected. That seems like a little bit more than 1,000. Chat, which is the bigger number? 1,000 or 90,000 people? Which is the bigger number? Why, it almost makes you wonder if that's why they're suddenly building 2 emergency hospitals, and other doctors are saying shit like every hospital in the region is full.
甚至全国的疫情情况，现在已经有9万多人次。这个病毒的传染几率是多少呢？就是一个人传染之后，如果说他没有被有效的隔离的话，或者说进行有效的治疗的话，他会传染给他身边的14个人。
If they don't quarantine the infected person, they're saying average transmission is up to 14 people. And that's based on a case that already happened of one person infecting 14 healthcare workers. So, you know, Eugene, again, I just let's pull up Eugene again because he's the smirty Eugene talking about, hey guys, hey guys. It's only killed 41 people, only 1,300 infected, except the nurse saying 90 fucking thousand people are sick at the moment. Maybe that's why. I don't know, call it crazy. Maybe that's why. The Chinese government is literally shitting fucking bricks at the moment. It's literally crapping its pants in utter fucking terror at the things that are happening. Let me see if I can bring this up now. Oh, may include sensitive data. I bet it does. So this is another one released through social media in China that got censored. But let's just read what it said. She said the doctors were on the verge of a mental breakdown, and they had reached their limits treating more than 100 patients a day per doctor. Doctors estimate at least 100,000 people are actually infected. The Chinese government is lying. Though this is a fucking... Oh. So you have 2 different nurses saying that it's an infection rate of realistically 90,000 to 100,000 people. Holy fucking shit. I mean, 50 million fucking people. It's 25 million in Florida. It's 27 million in Canada. This would basically be like if the North America decided to quarantine the state of Florida and Canada and prohibit people from traveling anywhere or doing business or going on vacation. Imagine the economic impact of that. That's what China's doing right now. So given the economic impact of that massive amount of interference, makes it difficult for me to believe it's just that 1,300 that are sick. Now, it's jumped borders. It's in Taiwan, Thailand, Hong Kong, Japan, Nepal, the United States, France, Canada, Australia. How much more is it going to spread? If you have sick people that aren't showing symptoms that are still contagious, if they're typhoid Marys all over the fucking place, if you have more people like that woman that snuck into France by lying because she's a piece of shit, you know, sneaking into France and hiding her symptoms just so she could go on vacation. You know, how many people are they bumping into? The guy in Seattle that got the disease, he landed on Wednesday. He didn't go to the hospital until Sunday. That's 4 days walking around. They're like, oh, we know the 16 people he interacted with. Well, do you? He's confined in an airplane with all the passengers. That's got to be more than 16 people. He walked through the fucking terminal. He probably took a taxi. Maybe they went to the grocery store. Maybe they went to the mall. You don't know where the fuck they went. The woman in Chicago didn't go to the doctor for 2 days. Again, in the airplane, through the terminal, taking a taxi, maybe visiting friends. And if you don't have to show symptoms to spread the disease, that means potentially for anywhere from 2 to 4 days, these people were infecting everyone. So we're going to find out how quick it spreads. I mean, this could be a flash in the pan. It could disappear. But just given the reaction, given the insane reaction that's going on right now. And again, let me just pull up that map to show you how fucking insane this is. Their lockdown map, the radius of it, the cities involved, given the amount of effort they're putting into this, makes me think that they know it's worse than they're letting on, and it makes me think they're hiding the numbers. And if they're hiding how many are infected, I guarantee you they're hiding how many people are dead. So we have no idea. We have no idea. We're going to have to wait for it to spread in the West before we have an idea of how bad it is. Oh, you're going to build a prefab hospital with 2,000 beds? No, 2,000 beds is nothing. Holy shit. What a clusterfuck. You know, and I'll even go as far as saying this. This may not be the happening. Maybe it does peter out. But it should serve as an example to you of what it's going to look like when it really does hit the fan. They can't control it. That's the reality. All the bullshit you've ever been told by whatever government you live under, whether you're an American or European, you're in Australia, South America, Africa, it doesn't matter. When these assholes tell you, don't worry, we work at the CDC, we work at WHO, we have university degrees, we work in military, we can protect you, we're going to quarantine and shut down flights, and that disease isn't going to go anywhere. They're full of shit. China is stumbling over itself in utter fucking pants-shitting terror, and the disease still got out. All the other countries are still getting infected. And this you could look at it as a trial run. When it really happens, if it spread faster, if it spreads more viciously, there's no way they're going to contain it. So really, even if this turns out to be nothing, you should be looking at this and thinking to yourself, what are you going to do when the real thing happens? How the fuck are you going to protect yourself? Because there's no way they're going to stop it from spreading. There's no way to really quarantine. Quarantine is a fictitious fantasy. It exists in movies. Quarantines don't work because people are fucking stupid and they lie and they get scared and they do dumb shit. Like the fucking Chinese woman lying to get on a plane. Like the idiots with Ebola in Africa lying about not being sick to get to another village and infecting somebody else. There's always going to be that one asshole that's going to fuck the world into the dirt. So watching what's happening with the woo flu should give you an idea of what the real thing's going to look like. If this isn't the real thing, which I don't know it could be. Maybe these are all the best trolls. I don't speak Chinese. I don't know if these are like troll videos. This is some chick from fucking TikTok putting out a fake video as a nurse. Maybe. But maybe there are really 90 to 100,000 people that are dropping dead or at least getting infected. What are you going to do? What do you do? What do you do in the face of that? How do you fight against something like that? Let's say this is the great pandemic of the 20s. Let's say this is a shit that's going to spread worldwide. You're going to have to wait a year for a vaccine. So by December, maybe you'll be able to get a shot that'll prevent you from dying. So what the fuck are you going to do from January to December not to die? While they're working on their precious vaccine. Unfucking real. Now, you had a CDC official basically saying the Chinese were lying fucks. But he said it in a very diplomatic way, but saying that they're not sharing information. And then you've got WHO, which might be the most retarded organization on the earth. Basically like, that's cool, bro. Everything's good. Corona-chan flew over my house. We're all good. Nothing's bad happening, man. It's just the apocalypse. Relax. These fucks don't know what they're going to do. I feel less secure. Even if this turns out to be nothing, I feel less secure with these motherfuckers. You know, in Hong Kong, even outside of the holiday, they've shut down their schools, all universities until the 17th. What an interesting number. Why the 17th, I wonder? Well, maybe they want to wait a few weeks to see how many fucking people are going to die. So, I mean, we really have a week and a half to wait to find out. If this is a real deal, within a week or so, you're going to start to see some real shit. Some real videos showing a lot of death and sick people. And if that doesn't happen, well, then it's not the hap. But I can't help myself. I love me a happening. You say, Jim, a happening, you say. Well, I have to be a part of it. Just death and destruction everywhere. I hope you got some video, like a backlog of video games, some good books you want to read, some nice liquor, a nice comfy blanket for your recliner, and then just lock every window and door and just enjoy. Just sit there sipping on your whiskey while you play your Bing Bing Woohoo machine as you watch your neighbors vomit up blood and gurgle and have seizures in the streets. Oh, it's just so soon in the new year to have this kind of heavy shit dropping on us. But I just don't understand it. I'm going to take a second. Let's see if new news has come out while we've done this. Every hour of every day, there's some new horrible shit related to this fucking thing that pops up. You could start a stream, and by the time you're an hour into a stream, fucking more people are dead, more areas are infected. So let's take a look and see what's going on. From Arab News. From 7 minutes ago. That's the name of the news source. I've never heard of it, but whatever, we'll just go with it. China virus death toll now at 56, and the total cases are at 2,000. Well, that's weird, because I could have sworn it just said 1,400, and it just jumped. It jumped from 1,400 to 2,000, and 56 are dead. Now, how many are recovered? We don't know, so it kind of fucks with the kill count, doesn't it? 2,000 infected, 56 dead. Sure seems to be gaining some fucking momentum. Also, the Daily Mail is now reporting on the nurse video I just showed you. Now they're showing that, claiming 90,000 people are sick. Oh, and what did Winnie the Pooh say? What was the choice words he used when he described what's going on? China faces a grave situation as the death toll rises. A grave situation, but somebody, hey, contact President Winnie the Pooh and tell him he needs to follow Eugene on Twitter. And just relax, bro. It's just a cold. It's just a cold, Eugene told me. What are you freaking out about, Winnie? Give him some honey. Calm him down. I'm sure he'll be fine. We've got one from Rocket Hill Herald saying French car maker to evacuate all workers from China. So it looks like not just the U.S., but the French are pulling out. Oh, let's see. I just reading through the headlines is fun as shit because it's always something worse. Coronavirus sees Wuhan ban cars as Hong Kong declares virus emergency. And President Xi warns of grave threat to nation. I don't know. God, reading those headlines, chat, again, just confuses me, makes me wonder, makes me put my thinking thought hat on that maybe, just maybe, Eugene is a fucking moron, and all these people that are freaking out for a fucking reason. Infection rate keeps climbing every day. In fact, God, if we go back to the original thing, and let's see what kind of growth we're looking at. So 1,400 cases. All right, let's look at this. I know you're not seeing it on screen. I'm just doing this myself. So on the 19th, China reported 270 people sick. On the 20th, they reported 320. So it grew by 50. Then a day later, it grew by 200. Day after that, by another 100. Then it starts getting even bigger. The next day, on the 23rd, 300 growth. And then on the 24th, 500 growth. And now it's 600 growth. So it just, every day, hundreds more are getting infected. Started out with just 20 more, 50 more, then 100, then 200, then 300, then 500, then 600. And those are the wink wink official numbers. Still a bit of a shortfall between 2,000 and 100,000. Now, how long did it take SARS to infect 8,000 people? Didn't it take like 3 months? I'm almost certain for SARS it took 3 months to infect 8,000 people. And for this disease, it's infected 2,000 in under a week. In fact, it's almost infected more people than MERS did. I think MERS hit at most 2,500. So it seems to be pretty communicable. It seems to be easily passed from person to person. Unless all 2,000 of these people just really love the taste of bat soup and have to go down to the Henan fucking wet market and get them some fucking bat soup. People saying Event 201. You know what? I don't even know what that is. Let me Google it. Let's read it for fun. What the fuck is Event 201? All right, I will pull this up, chat. 1 second. Let me find a good link for it that's not going to put me some fucking crazy. All right, let's read what is Event 201. If people are spamming it in chat, let's take a look. I want to make sure it's hopefully it's readable enough for you guys, but I'll read it nonetheless. Event 201, the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security in partnership with the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, hosted Event 201, a high-level pandemic exercise on October 18, 2019 in New York, New York. The exercise illustrated areas where public-private partnership will be necessary during a response to a severe pandemic in order to diminish large-scale economic and societal consequences. In recent years, the world has grown to see a number of epidemic events amounting to approximately 200 events annually. These events are increasing and they are disruptive to health, economy, and society, managing these strains global capacity, even absent a pandemic threat. Experts agree that it's only a matter of time before one of these epidemics becomes global, a pandemic which potentially catastrophic consequences. And this is Event 201. So what are we looking at timeline-wise? Okay, let's put it together. In June of 2019, a bio lab in Canada expels Chinese spies that were sending back samples to Wuhan to their bio labs, which apparently there are two, one located at the university and another at the Virology Institute. 3 or 4 months after that, all of a sudden, Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, and all these other fucking people get together to hold a dry run of what they're going to do if a pandemic hits. So Chinese spies get expelled after sending virus samples back. 4 months later, we're having a dry run, Event 201. 2 months after that, in December, the first cases of this new disease start to pop up. And now here we are in January with a mounting amount of infected, as well as a mounting death toll. Interesting. Oh, my little conspiracy hat. Oh, my tinfoil is crinkling right now, chat. I feel like I put my head inside a microwave. Oh, their little sparks fly. A lot of people giving thinking thoughts in chat on this. Total coincidence. Oh, I'm not going to watch a summary. I'm not going to. I'm not going to look up a bunch of videos to watch to summarize Event 201. Now, somebody had mentioned earlier. I never had a chance to look into it that this particular virus they were claiming was patented. I don't know. I think it's a. I honestly, God, I suspect that it is a bioweapon or bioweapon research that got out of the lab. And maybe it's not super deadly, but it sure shit probably wasn't supposed to get loose. And now they're freaking out. Now, it's interesting. You could speculate why people would be having Event 201 before this, just a month or two before this. Who knows? That's for smarter people to speculate about. And when I say smarter people, of course I mean Eugene. Again, if you know President Winnie the Pooh, just have him follow Eugene on Twitter and everything is going to be okay. Because this guy is smart and he knows what he's talking about. I mean, how can you see the shit going on there? How do you look at this? How do you look at pictures like this and then say, yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense. Just the flu. It's just walk it off, bro. You got the sniffles. Take a little bit of Sudafed. You'll be fine, bro. Nothing's going on. People in chat saying Event 201 is a coronavirus exercise. Again, I couldn't tell you. That's beyond me. All I'm here to do is watch the world burn and read the headlines. I've been glued to this shit for like 3 or 4 days now. I find it just fascinating. The reaction is fascinating. Just the amount of shit going on is just phenomenal. And the scope and scale and size of it all. Also, whoever runs this fucking Wuhan coronavirus site, who is it? JHUSCSSE, whatever the fuck that stands for. Update your shit. It's 2,000 confirmed cases, 56 dead. And then you're going to have to tell us how many totally recovered because I don't fucking know. But look at that's the fucking graph. That's like a J curve. It's like a population curve. It's just straight up for infected cases. Holy shit. It's really going to depend on how far this spreads outside of China, outside of Asia. Right now, this is Asia's problem. I mean, it is popping up everywhere. Don't get me wrong. It's already in the US and in Europe and in Australia. But the bulk of this shit is in Asia. We'll find out real quick how infectious those fucking people were and how many people are going to get sick. But Asia's just straight up fucked right now. China in particular, I wonder what Russia's going to do. It's marching its way across Mongolia right up their ass. So we'll see what happens with that. People saying Resident Evil is finally real. I don't know. If they start returning from the dead, wow. They really went the full 9 with this one. Okay. Needed a little bit of a giggle to get over the dark nature of all the shit we're talking about. Just nonstop fucking depressing shit, I'll be honest with you. I think we survived another night, chat. I think we made it through one more night of the virus taking over the world. I think I'll be protected because my lungs are so full of tar right now that I don't think the virus could even fight its way in. I mean, that's the strategy I'm going with. I wish you all the best of luck.